I miss
that I found. Just
he made great mead.
Yeah. Paul became a very beginning mentor of mine, I guess, if you will.
Oh, cool.
So I would kind of go out there after finding out, that they were there, and I went out there and tried there. So I tried my first commercial mead, and loved it, and was intrigued by it, and then ended up spending numerous times out there with Paul and just kind of talking and trying things with him, and just buying a lot of his products.
He's a good guy. I mean, I was sorry to see that his meadery didn't persevere. I don't know what happened, but it was sad to see him go. I've still got a Long Island Meadery hat, and probably a couple bottles of his test drive stuff that he gave me every time I'd stop up there. Because I was going to New York a couple times a year, so I'd always swing by there and say hey. Yeah,
I wish I still had some of his bottles left, but they got drank pretty quickly.
He made a sizer that was to die for. It was really good. And I had a bottle of it that he gave me, and I was going to take it to the Mazer Cup, and like an idiot, I put it in my carry-on, and they took it. I was like, no! You can hear my wail of sadness all the way across the airport.
Yeah, give me it, I'll drink it now!
No, please, I'll drink it now, just don't take it. They're like, we're sorry, man, we're really sorry.
He helped me out a lot.
Yeah, he was a good guy. I haven't had the opportunity to speak with him lately, but yeah, he's a really good guy.
Yeah, me neither. I'd love to catch up with him at some point as well. And I know recently I was looking it up to see, obviously, if his website was still up, and there's no reason why it should be, I guess. But just looking for some sort of a contact back again to him, just to kind of reach out and update him on what I'm doing now and how, the product he was making back then definitely had a hand in what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say check LinkedIn. That'd probably be the best way to find him.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's where you find everybody. So it was kind of you just sort of fell into it then, or
no, this was early on, so it was this was probably at that point 2004, 2005. So I've been again making wine and at that point beer and now mead for a couple of years, but it really never crossed my mind at that point to start a meadery. But I always had dreams at that point of probably doing a brewery, and just kind of never felt that I was in the right position to do it, or to make the jump, I guess. And watched a whole bunch of my friends open up meaderies and helped them out, and got involved in the beer industry. Helped Paul out for a little while at Long Island Meadery, did some marketing for him, helped him design his brochures and do some of that work.
So I
was involved. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I was involved in it, and then time kind of went on, and I watched the beer industry grow into the monster that it is now. And once I saw it get to a certain level, I thought, all right, maybe a brewery is not the way to go. There's enough of them out there, but always thought about a meadery in the back of my head at that point, and one day decided that, if I'm going to do this, let's start putting some of my meads out into the public, start entering it into competitions as an amateur as a home brewer or as an amateur, and see how I fare against other people. And so I started entering it into everything, every mead competition I could find.
Oh, neat.
And got really good results back.
Okay. And that's always good confirmation, that your mead is good, which is the first step. If you can't make good mead, no point in opening a meadery. But
exactly.
Yeah, totally. So I'm assuming that you live or have lived in Pennsylvania for a while.
About 4 years now.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So not forever. No. Yeah, just moved here in 2012. I'd have to really think about that for a minute, but yes, I believe that's correct.
So what sort of, Pennsylvania is an oddball state in terms of liquor laws. What was it like having to, what would you have to deal with?
We haven't dealt with too much of it yet. We're really small, so we don't see, the shipping end of it. We don't have to deal with the state stores. We're just too small to even be on the radar at the moment. I hear nightmares about, shipping in or shipping out alcohol. I hear nightmares about other wineries or meaderies working with the state stores, and now that they're excited to be finally in the state store after a lot of work, and now it's more of a nightmare than they anticipated. We really don't deal with that because at the moment we're small. I mean, the meadery for me is still a second job. So I have my main job, my 9 to 5, if you will, and then this is weekend warrior and evening stuff for me at the moment. Hopefully, love to make that jump soon. But at the moment, it's we're just building it and having some fun with it still.
Okay, well, that's cool.
It keeps me busy.
Who do you sell the mead to? How do you distribute it at the moment?
Sure. So currently, I do all of distribution. So in Pennsylvania, there's no distributors for wine. So it's self-distribution. So I bring either our kegs, if it's our draft mead, or our bottles to the restaurant, to the bars, to those kind of places, which helps keep a really nice hand on the product. As everyone listening, or as you guys know as well, not everyone knows that much about mead yet, or they're just starting to learn about it.
Yeah.
So being able to have that personal contact, myself with my accounts, lets me get feedback from them. If I sell them a couple kegs and some bottles, when I call them up in 2 weeks to see how things are going along, they can let me know. They can give me direct feedback, and they know that feedback's coming directly to me, which I can learn from.
That's
cool.
Good. Yeah, I mean, that from a marketing perspective, that hands-on with the customer is the best thing you could ever ask for. So,
Yeah, and it's part of the reason why why I'm still keeping it small at the moment is, and being involved in the beer industry, and being involved in, I guess, even the whole alcohol industry for a while now. I've seen many people set up a business like this and then fail because they either bit off more than they could chew, or they weren't completely educated in what needed to happen or what would be the best way to go about it, and it can come and can get you in the end. So keeping it small for me at the moment and learning as I go and building it as I feel comfortable I think is going to help me to make sure that, or I guess Haymaker, to make sure that it succeeds, it doesn't fail.
Is it just you, or do you have a team?
It is technically me and my wife,
okay.
But at the moment it is just me. We just had our first daughter 2 months ago, so she's been out of the picture. Obviously taking care of her, and I'm helping out as much as I can. But right now it is just me. I have about 4 guys, good friends of mine that are part of the homebrew club that I'm part of, that are a big help. I can't even say how much help they are. They help us at festivals. They help me when it's bottling day. If it's whatever needs to be done, these guys are the first ones there, and it's amazing. It is a huge help.
That's awesome to have that.
It sounds like you guys are able to actually do this on a really, really nano scale. Does Pennsylvania make you get a special location, or do you have to rent a warehouse, or is that something?
No. Yeah, that's a good question. So actually, we are producing under another winery's license at the moment. So when we were looking to open up this meadery, we did, me and my wife, we did a little trip, and we went and visited a whole bunch of meaderies, pretty much as many as we could find that were, let's say, within 12-hour driving distance. And we went out to, let's see, who do we go to? We went and saw Ken Tram, we saw the V-Nectar guys, we went to New Day. We went to, gosh, why am I pulling a blank?
Did you go to Brotherhood? They're not real far from you. They're over there in New York by the city.
No, we went in the other direction. We were Brother Drake's.
No.
Went to Brother Drake's.
Okay.
And then went up to Chicago and stopped in the Wild Blossom. Just kind of, to hit as many as we could. Kind of did this big circle.
Yeah.
And pick the brains of everyone that was willing to share their experience with us. And at this point, we weren't, we hadn't done anything as far as licensing for the winery. And after some conversations with everyone, we came to agreement that it might be, me and my wife came to agreement that it might be best if we could start under another winery's license again to learn the business as much as possible. And yeah, start small.
Yeah.
We're, our batch sizes are anywhere from 60 to 120 gallons.
Okay.
So it's definitely not as large as the other guys, but when you're making, 80 to 100 gallons, it doesn't feel too small.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, it definitely is small.
I noticed that I had noticed on your label that it said that it was bottled by Stone and Key, so I figured you guys were doing a bottling arrangement or something.
Yep, so that's exactly correct. So yeah, it is bottled at that location, and actually it's made and everything is done under their license and at that location. I do everything myself. There's no
Okay.
there's no help from them, and I don't want that to be in a negative way, but I mean again, coming from the beer industry, there's
do independent
contract brewing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we do everything ourselves there, and it's a great relationship we have with them. And at some point, it'll help us launch into our own location. But at the time being, where again, this is my evening job or my weekend warrior job, it makes things a lot easier for us, and it also allows us to learn this market with a product like mead, which is not a guaranteed thing. Not like
Well,
beer
as Long
or
Island
wine.
Meadery showed, he had a good product and he had a tight market there. And for whatever reason, it didn't pan out. I mean, I was updating my list today for my business, and I talked to a meadery out west who's been going for years. I mean, like 8-9 years now. So you'd think, at that point, probably going good. But he just decided to stop doing it because it wasn't doing what it needed to for whatever reason. I didn't ask, and he didn't volunteer, but. I mean, growing slow and learning the market is a good thing. I mean, depending on where you're at and what you're doing and what your resources are, it can, you want to do what you can with what you've got.
Sure, absolutely, and that's kind of what we're going for, and we're trying to keep the excitement and keep the craft in it, as much as possible.
No, I think that's a great approach. I mean, yeah, I like the crafting approach, and in nano, there's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of people that are making a go of it that way, and have turned ultimately into bigger with their own location, and and so forth and so on. So.
Yeah, I mean, we all started that way. Everyone we all had to make our first batch one way or another. So
exactly.
Unless they just jumped all in. Without ever making a mead before understanding it, and just went right for it all, full gusto. I think we all kind of started there, and it's interesting. And again, it's comforting to know that as I build and as we get new accounts, and as I see the product grow, that we're growing along with it.
Well, now that you're making mead, do you like when you first started out, do you have like a preferred yeast that you use, or do you select the yeast based on the honey or the must or whatever?
I have two. We have two yeasts that we primarily use. D47, which is obviously a wine yeast, and then we're starting to experiment more with some beer yeast. And getting some really nice results with the beer yeasts. They are, I feel I'm getting more honey esters, getting more honey aromas in the end from some of the beer yeast that I'm using than I am from some of the wine yeast, where the wine yeast just seem to almost in a way rip through the honey so fast, and it's so clean that there's almost nothing